Shalom, Israel. It's Jeremiah call. Before we start off, I want to give praises to the Father and the Son. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Barakakadas. Yahweh is to the people ignorantly called God, and Yahushua is to the people ignorantly called Jesus. So-called black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Americans. You are the Hebrew Israelites. And also you're feeling pulled to learn, push this truth. You are also an Israelite. Today we're gonna be hitting some precepts about, what's going on in LA, these riots and all that. And all these things are, happening because, we are in the end, man. But this second Esdras 9:1-3, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world in which he made, man. So all these things are happening because our Lord Yahushua is coming back to this world that he made, and claiming what's rightfully his, has been his before the world was. Verse 3. Therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning, man. So these times that we are witnessing, that we're in right now, were prophesied before the world was, man. It's a lot of people, they think that things happen in this world by coincidence. No, man. We don't believe in coincidences, man. We believe in, fate, destiny, man. Everything that happened in this world from day to day was, destined, was meant to happen, the good and the bad. And we're seeing around the world, not only in LA, but uproars of the people. People starting to protest more. And we've really seen it, 2020. But ever since then it's been more common and more widespread, worldwide. And a lot of these uproars that be happening, you don't even hear about them. Verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is made manifest, man. The end is being made manifest. You can see it all around you. These uproars. World War III getting bad. The MOTB coming to the scene, which was the mRNA poke. All these things are here and being made manifest. It's clear as day that we are in the end, man. And other day when I was at work, This Edomite came into my job. Of course, I didn't get into details. But hey, man, I asked him. I was like, do you believe that we are in the last days? And, he said no. He said that it'll be evident we are in the last days because, all hell is breaking loose. And that's, how a lot of these people's mindsets are. They can't see that we are in the end because, they're blinded. And that's how them people was in the flood. Blinded, not knowing what's coming. Well, now we're going to head to Isaiah 42 and 22. It says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hidden in prison houses, and they are for a prey, and none delivereth for a spoil, and none saith restore. And this is our fellow Israelite brothers, northern kingdoms, you so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Americans. They are being forcefully removed from this country by Edomites, man. And who is Edom to remove Israelites from this land when they stole this land from Israelites, man? So, that's hypocrisy at its finest. How are you going to steal this land from these people? And when they try to come back to this land, you forcefully remove them, man. It's deeper than just process. It's deeper than just Hispanics being deported. Edom has a perpetual hatred for the Israelites, man. And they're showing their hatred. Why out of all people they're removing you so-called Mexicans, so-called Hondurans, so-called just Hispanic in general? Because they hate you, man. They know who you are and that you're of a royal lineage, a royal bloodline, man. Edom hates us. And on this land that they stole from us, they're rape, robbing, plundering, and oppressing us on this same land, man. This hypocrisy. And protesting isn't going to change anything for us. Our people been protesting for over, almost 100 years now. And it got us nowhere. None of these movements is going to get us nowhere. Man, only Yahweh Shem Shah can save the Israelites from this hellhole that is America, aka Babylon the Great, man. If we want change, we have to wait for the Lord to bring that change to us, man. It wouldn't be wise. It wouldn't be a wise thing to try to go carnally fight, these Edomites. How we overcome them is by being spiritual, man. That's why this truth hurts them so much, because it's spiritual. They get cut by it and they can't understand how they're getting cut without being physically harmed. It shows you how powerful, this truth is. It's that they hate you when you speak it. They don't want you to speak it. But by not speaking this truth, You're just letting these niggas win. But they not even niggas, man. These cave beasts. And now we scroll down to Obadiah 1 and 10. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. Thou shalt be cut off forever, man. So, Edom is cut off, man. And these niggas is salty because they don't have nothing good to them, man. As an Edomite, the best thing you can look forward to is not even good. You can either be a slave, or if you don't be a slave, then either way, you're done, bun. It says, I'm going to repeat that. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever, man. And they're still committing violence against Jacob, against Israel, to this very second, man. Detaining, deporting our Northern Kingdom brothers, man. From a land that's rightfully theirs, rightfully ours. It's hypocrisy, man. But these devils, they want us. They want us to, make a carnal move, so they can usher that with a carnal response. But my advice to you, Northern Kingdom Israelites, all across the country, because here, even in North Carolina, they got ICE here deporting our brothers and sisters too. My advice, y'all just be, try to stay out of the way, man. And ultimately, try to get closer to the Lord. Because, man, as Israelites, we need the Lord, man. We are nothing without the Lord. And, that's a stone cold fact. We are nothing. Because we don't even wake ourselves up every morning. We don't order our steps. The Lord orders our steps for us. And He can order your steps to do good, righteous things. But also He can order your steps that when somebody do wickedness, that they don't know why they're doing it. But it all boils down to Edom's hatred for the Israelites, man. They're trying every play, every move in the book that they have to destroy us. They've been trying to destroy us for over 1,000+ years, man. Well, not 1,000, but up there in years. They've been trying to destroy us for who knows how many hundreds of years. But the Lord didn't let it happen, man. That's why these elites of Edom, they know that they're cooked. They know what their end is, man. And man, as time goes on, man, I only expect these devils to show their horns, more and more. Because, they're salty that they're cooked. Literally, you're trapped in a firmament. and you can't go nowhere. So you're just here in the firmament waiting to be exterminated. Cause you can't get out the firmament. You know the Lord and his angels are gonna exterminate these beasts like the fucking bugs they are, man. You know, even from Obadiah's time until now, you know, these devils are doing, you know, more and more to the Israelites. You know, but their time of, you know, having their way with the Israelites is speedily coming to an end, man. You know, while the Israelites look forward to the end of this carnal world, Edom, which is this carnal world, this wicked kingdom, will stay. While we go through our everyday realizing that time is speeding up. They realize that time is speeding up, but they don't want time to speed up. Because they know that their end is not without honor. It is not without glory. You know, Edom has no expected end, man. As an Edomite, you shouldn't even look towards your end. You know? But as an Israelite, we want the end. Because in this book, in the book called the Holy Bible, which is the Israelites' book, our Bible, we read our prophecies and we understand that once this devil goes down, it's when it's our time to rule, you know, our time to reign. And, you know, these elites know that too. That's why they spend these trillions and billions of dollars to force agendas on the Hebrew Israelites to try to destroy us. Really, these elites, they really want to try to destroy the elect. But you can't destroy the elect, man. You know, so in the end, you know, it's definitely, you know, a spiritual battle, you know, going on. It's, you know, the spiritual world is, you know, stronger than this physical world that we are in. But, you know, with that, hope this lesson was edifying through spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All praises unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Until next time, Shalom Yashala.